What you are currently seeing is the magical and expansive world known as the Velarium Mirage, a powerful and wondrous domain that was crafted by the wondrous powers of Klee's dear mother Alice. And while it may look beautiful and extraordinary in the inside, on the outside it appears no more than just a simple bottle laying in the middle of a scorching hot, arid desert. It is inside this strange bottle that dwells a very interesting character in particular, who has a fantastic story and history not only involving Klee's mother, but also around the much anticipated region of Fontaine. Hello everyone, I am Sakai Samurai, your guide in the vast world of Teyvat, and today we are covering the weirdly strange world of Idyia, the caretaker of the proclaimed Velarium Mirage, and a woman who can also be very easily overwhelmed.
You wanna see me cry? Fine! I'll stop crying right here!
We will also be showcasing a lot of lore and story here that is revealed inside the main quest for the Secret Summer Paradise event quest. So if you have not beaten that just yet, fair warning, there is going to be plenty of spoilers here. But without any more further distractions however, let's get into it. Roughly 500 years ago, the world would change forever. The Great Cataclysm had taken place, and with that, many lives were lost in the process, with the Hydro Archon herself perishing at some point during the event. And with the death of the god of Hydro came a long list of challenging events surrounding those who had lived in Fontaine. Inevitably, the aquatic species known as Oceanids would take on a mass exodus from the region after learning of their Archon's death, refusing to kneel to the words of their new leader and instead deciding to flee from Fontaine entirely. And while we may not know exactly why they had exiled themselves, we do know a few interesting characters that have fled from the land that are still with us to this very day, including the world boss Rhodeia of Loch, who had fled with the fear of her life from the nation of Fontaine, who now resides in the Bashui River with the fear of her life that one day a Fontaine spy will come after her. But another Oceanid in particular was actually Idyia herself, and after escaping from Fontaine, she would inevitably find herself wandering throughout the land of Sumeru. It is here that she would go on to meet the powerful mage Alice. They would soon grow into becoming great friends, and due to the very shy and timid nature of Idyia, Alice was gracious enough to grant the poor Oceanid her wish of being able to escape somewhere that she can be left alone, and that she could have her own little personal oasis. It was then that she conjured up Idyia her very own magical domain, where she would finally get the peace that she ever so desired, and she was granted the caretaker of the Velarium Mirage. However, the role of being the caretaker quickly seemed to overwhelm her, with Idyia being prone to simply break down over the tiniest of issues, with even the most minor of problems often leaving her feeling useless, and quickly just gives up instead of actually applying herself to fix them. This would lead to an ever-growing long list of problems to arise inside the domain itself. And what's more, she would eventually find herself dealing with the new inhabitants that were arriving into her world. Whether they like it or not, they had stumbled into Idyia's domain, and being practically trapped inside the bottle with Idyia herself. However, for the most part, most of these characters who ended up here would go on to do great improvements for the world, such as crafting vast roller coasters so they could be used for transportation, and design large murals and contraptions for the little water bubble inhabitants that live in the world with them. Meanwhile, for Idyia, she would just often mess things up, or often just dwell on completing her tasks for other people, rendering herself to just feeling useless. In fact, it's even mentioned that she is extremely prone to just breaking down and crying, and curling up in a corner instead of, doing something.
If anything, I thought you'd be curled up somewhere crying alone.
Poor Idyia simply suffers from a lack of knowing her own self-purpose, and is actually capable of doing some fantastic things that she often fails to see, such as her incredible handiwork with designing Klee's little dress, or her immense talent with her designs and her great compassion that she has as a person.
It was nothing really. Just one of those, oh no, whatever shall I wear to the ball moments.
While much of her story can be obvious through playing throughout the main quests, there is some very interesting moments to stand out about who Idyia could possibly have been while she was living back in Fontaine. To start things off, you can take a look at her outfit, as her outfit's design itself seems to be some sort of casual luxury loungewear. that matches very well with the formal styled attire that you would see in Fontaine. Her pretty glowing blue eyes also serve as a reminder about her true identity as an Oceanid. While she may appear humid, she's actually a powerful aquatic creature in the inside. And as I mentioned earlier, she had originally escaped from Fontaine a long time ago, along with the rest of the Oceanids because of their distaste in the new Archon, with her story actually being very similar to that of Rhodeia of Loch. And what's incredibly interesting here is that we may finally be seeing the story of Rhodeia start to expand, with Idyia herself actually possibly being even related to this world boss. Here, let me explain. After completing the story, there is a very intriguing dialogue moment where Idyia actually seems to get excited that the traveler actually knows who Rhodeia is. Although she does not know that she is basically living in fear and that she is our enemy, she does seem quite excited. And while she doesn't really say much, she does seem to have some sort of connection to Rhodeia of Loch by taking notice of how far she had truly came from to end up all the way in Liwa, with her tone seeming to have some sort of hint that she could have had a fond connection with this other Oceanid. But trust me, it can go a lot deeper than this. Much of the Oceanids themselves has formed around Greek mythology, with Idyia being the youngest sister of Oceanids in the Greek mythos, along with another Oceanid being named Rhodeia being the older sister. And if you were to play from the original Chinese version of Genshin Impact, Idyia actually refers to Rhodeia in her dialogue as none other than her older sister. So there could actually be a possibility of the two being related, which is just so exciting for me because I simply love Rhodeia of Loch and have been craving to see her story begin to expand more. Because now it seems possible that maybe the lore around these two characters could expand onward, and maybe we might be able to see some sort of positive interaction with them in the future, maybe around when Fontaine comes out. I also did a video recently about Rhodeia as well, so if you are interested in learning even more about her and her days as a Fontaine spy, feel free to check out the video in the link below or in the top right corner. So yeah, casual shameless plug, I know. And with that everyone, we conclude on what we know so far on Idyia. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Feel free to also check out my other content, where I cover plenty of lore on the world of Genshin Impact. I also do guides from time to time and also the occasional parody video. If you liked what you saw today, feel free to give me a like, and if you want to see even more from me, hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 400 subscribers, so hype! My next video will also be about the dramatic story of Eula's childhood, and we'll also be going in depth about her vision story. So stick around. Regardless everyone, I shall see you all in the next video. Till next time, Samurai.